What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today. A Litecoin right now, we're sitting at $92. What I want to do is go behind the scenes and look what's happening for Litecoin on the block. And what we're going to do here, we're going to go into the block is the website, and we're going to look at a few different things since the halving for Litecoin is about 74 days away. So guys, one thing I wanted to point out, we could potentially have a really nice run into this halving that's coming up for Litecoin, but we still have to really keep an eye on what Bitcoin's doing, because if Bitcoin does go down to some lower levels, it still could potentially drag Litecoin down with it just a little bit or slow that momentum. So we definitely have to keep an eye on Bitcoin, as well as taking an eye and keeping an eye on this here for us behind the scenes for Litecoin into the block. So what I wanted to look at first here, guys, and if you're here for Litecoin, smash that thumbs up for me, just put LTC down low, and I'll do these videos more often for you leading up into the halving here. So first of all, what I wanted to point out was total addresses. And guys, what's pretty interesting here, this line in green, this is a beautiful uptrend that's taking place, and this is the increase in total addresses here. And you can see, guys, this is with a balance here, so it's not like total zero balance. This is people who have balances, and this dates all the way back to 2013 when we had about 35,000 addresses. Now we are up all the way to almost 9 million addresses for Litecoin. So when we're taking a look at that here, guys, that's pretty impressive for us. Over the last 30 days, the average has been 7.56 million addresses. The 30-day high was at 8.29 million. So we didn't quite hit that 9, but we were closing in on it, and that's still a good amount of addresses, and you can see the speed that's been taking place here in this uptrend. So that's the first thing that I wanted to point out to you guys. We're just going to go down a list here and look at all these things behind the scenes of what's taking place. So the next one I wanted to go to, which I think is pretty cool for Litecoin, is going to be the overall holding time for Litecoin. And as we go through these, guys, just let me know which ones you really like the best and the ones that you really want to focus on as well. So overall holding time, the average time the token is held is going to be 2.1 years for Litecoin. So I'd like to see that conviction as well, guys. I think Bitcoin's around 4 years, but to see that people are holding on average here for over 2.1 years is pretty impressive for us there. So we're going to check off the holding time. The next one we want to take a look at here is going to be the whales and what's happening behind the scenes with the whales. And what I like about this, guys, this is going to show the ownership. And the whales for Litecoin, there's going to be 5 major whales, and the concentration is 12.35%. They own 9.1 million Litecoin. So a lot of them, like we've looked at, Dogecoin and SHIB and these, sometimes they can be up to 60-70% for the whales. The fact that Litecoin can't be as manipulated as some of these other coins, I like that, because what I'm going to show you here, guys, beyond just the whales, there's a good amount of investor confidence in Litecoin as well as that retail. So what you can see here, guys, if we go to investors, there's 139 investors, which breaks down to 37.19%. They own 27.39 million Litecoin. And if you take a look at this pie graph, so investors, take a look at blue. Of all the coins I've been looking at here, Litecoin is one of the highest in terms of investor volume. Whale is going to be in green, and then we're going to have retail here, which is going to own about 37.16 million Litecoin. So I thought that was pretty cool, guys, just going through that and keeping an eye on it. So that's going to be our whales and our concentration. The next one I wanted to go up to here was bulls and bears. So that's going to show you a demonstration of where we're at in the market right now. And this is just going to give you the fight between the bulls and the bears. So right now, the last 7 days, we have 44 bulls and we have 44 bears. And what takes place with the bulls and the bears, guys, these are the people who own 1%, or let me see here, I think it's 1% or 0.1%. So it says a bull, an address that bought more than 1% of the volume traded in the last 24 hours. A bear, an address that sold more than 1% of the volume in the last 24 hours. So these are pretty big movers, guys. 1% here, and you can see it's pretty much deadlocked right now. 44 bulls to 44 bears. The next one I wanted to take a look at here was going to be daily active addresses. Let's get down to this one. So this one, just give me a second here, guys, and then I had one more really cool stat to show you. So I'm still getting accustomed to this. There's a lot to it, but it's something that I really want to go through and just show you guys behind the scenes as well as doing technical analysis. So if we take a look here at the daily active addresses, we're going to get off the zero balance. We're going to take off the price for now just so we can really focus on this. And we're going to take a look at the new addresses and the active addresses. And right now what you can see, we're going to zoom in on this. We've had a pretty significant spike here between the new and the active addresses. So let's get the 0 back off there. So we went from active addresses around 220,000 there in the last 7 days. And then the new is going to be 111 all the way up to the high here. And this was on the 8th of May. To active addresses 713.94 thousand, and new addresses 584,000. So we had a pretty good spike here, guys, and this came, let's see, it started around April 24th. We've got a pretty good spike now, so definitely something that we want to keep an eye on here down the road as we close in on this halving coming up, because even if you're not a longer term investor in Litecoin, guys, there still could be some really nice plays on like the hourly time frame if we really get that momentum going and you're just looking to trade it. So right here, guys, another pretty cool stat, and this is going to be holdings distribution matrix, and I really like this one. So people who hold between 0 and 0.1 Litecoin, you're going to have 6.69 million addresses. 0.1 to 1 Litecoin, 765,000. 1 Litecoin to 10 Litecoin is going to be 600,000. 10 Litecoin to 100, 202,000 addresses. If you get into that big range here, guys, of 100 to 1,000 Litecoin, you're only looking at 32,000 addresses there. If you get into the range of 1,000 to 10,000, there's only 3.66 thousand addresses. So, guys, the one I would root for or try to get to for people out there is the 10 to 100 Litecoin. With there being around 84 million, the total supply, if you're able to hold 84 of those, guys, only 1 million people can hold as many as you do there. So you can see from that 10 to 100, there's only 202,000 addresses that hold that much Litecoin. So, you know, guys, it's just behind the scenes here. I would still be very patient watching this market, seeing what Bitcoin's doing, but I want to put this stuff out there. If you like this, let me know down low. Hit that like, subscribe. Really appreciate you guys. God bless and take care.